Hi, and welcome to Japanese craft beer reviews. Today, let's go across the pond, across the ocean to Portland, Oregon, to a brewery which is legendary in Portland called Hair of the Dog Brewing Company. And it unfortunately closed recently, and I was able to locate a few of its beers here in Japan, and I'd like to review them today. This brewery is kind of special for me. I visited it several times, and in fact, in 2009, I had a tour, a private tour of the company by Alan Sprintz, the head brewer, and a friend and I went to visit his old location, previous location, in Portland, and got a really nice tour. It was quite interesting, and saw his equipment and the very tiny brew kit he had for boiling, and the fermenting tanks, and I think he talked about how many he had to do, like four boils to fill up a fermenter, or and just ridiculous amount of work he put in. In any case, Alan Sprintz was the brewer, and he came to Portland actually to study culinary science, and he did. He graduated from the Cordon Bleu Culinary Academy there, and worked as a chef, but his interest was primarily in beer and in brewing. And he kind of went against the grain. He started in 1993, and this is a time when IPAs were kind of ruling the world, as they still do, basically. And he was making different kinds of beers. He came out with what's called an Atom beer, which is a kind of almost completely disappeared style at that time. Atom beer out of Germany, Dortmund area of Germany, and then he came out with a number of barley wines, and this was kind of before, except for maybe Sierra Nevada, but before the barley wine thing kind of really took off in the West Coast. And so he started again in 1993, but then moved to the Buckman district just south of the main downtown area of Portland, across the river, and opened up a tap room there, and I went there several times as well. Quite a special place to be in Portland, and try a variety of his beers, nice tasting sets and that sort of thing. So unfortunately they did close. He made a decision that after this 29 years, he decided to close up shop. And you can go on their website. They are still selling online. If you live in the United States, you can buy some of their vintage bottles. And apparently he kept either a half or a quarter of every batch that he bottled, and kept them in reserve. And now he's selling those as well. Not sure what's going to happen to the location. He owns the building apparently, but maybe somebody will take it over. Okay, well, enough of that, and enough of the introduction here. Let's move on to the beer. And this, I just said he went against the grain with his IPAs. In fact, he got a lot of inspiration from a Portland beer writer named Fred Eckhart, and in fact he named his first big barley wine or strong ale after him, Fred. And it's an absolutely astounding beer. So having said that, what we're going to take a look at today is probably one of his most famous beers, and that is Blue Dot. It is an IPA. Okay, Blue Dot IPA. And it's a rye IPA. And on Rate Beer, this one has 988 ratings, and the average is 3.82, and it has 98 percentile for all beers on Rate Beer, and 99 percentile for its style, an IPA, rye IPA. On tap, there are 15,863 separate ratings, and the average is 3.77, a little bit lower. This one comes in at 7% alcohol and 80 international bittering units. And it is named after this blue dot, the blue dot that we live on. And I'm wearing my Hair of the Dog t-shirt today in honor of this. And you can read what it says about the dog on there, including wet nose. And I can show you the back here real quickly, what he's got on the back of the t-shirt. I don't know if this makes sense to younger people or not, but it's a fire hydrant. And so dogs like fire hydrant. And one more note about Alan Sprints and his final brew, which was batch number 4136, was a collaboration with a Japanese brewery, Yokosuka Beer, and they made a shiitake brown ale for the Fuji to Hood Festival in 2022, this year, in July, in the middle of July. This is a festival that gets Japanese brewers and Oregon brewers together for collaborations. They've had Fuji to Hood a couple of times, and Hood to Fuji, where the Oregon brewers go to Japan and do a collaboration. And so this one, they did it again after a few years because of coronavirus, and so his very last batch was brewed with a Japanese brewer. Okay, I haven't had this in quite a while. Let's see how it is. Okay, it is kind of hazy, sort of dark amber color with a finger of dark foam. Not dark, off-white foam. Okay, certainly some very ripe stone fruit. Wonder if this is still, can't see the date on it here, but shouldn't be too out of date. Okay, this is much like I remember it. On tap, this is an exceptional beer, but I have had it in bottles before in Portland, and I brought some back to Japan. These were imported. I'm not sure exactly who imported it. Probably, I'm guessing, Fred Kaufman in Hokkaido. But it has a nice rounded richness, malty richness. 80 IBUs, and the hops are really coming through quite exceptionally. Yeah. So this is made with Pilsner and rye malts, and it's, yeah, as I say, it's not overly bitter. Even at 80 IBUs, it's well balanced beer. Yeah, and it says make every day Earth Day. Do something nice for your mother. And, as Carl Sagan said, we're only a pale blue dot in this universe. But as long as we still exist, there will be interesting beers to try as well. This is one of them. So my suggestion to you, if you're interested, is to get out and try Hair of the Dog. Certainly in Portland, you can probably buy them in certain areas. Online, you can buy some of their vintage ones. In Japan, too, if you go online, I think you can probably find some of their beers. But they won't be around forever, so don't wait too long. All right. Well, once again, this is called Hair of the Dog Blue Dot. He calls it a double India Pale Ale, but at 7%, I think we'd probably just say it's just a regular India Pale Ale IPA, rye IPA. And it's delicious, really. It's an experience for you to have. Well, that's it for today. Tell me what you think about Oregon beers or Hair of the Dog if you've had them. I'm not going to cry, but yeah, it's kind of sad to see that Hair of the Dog is gone the way of all things. That's it for today. Take care. Bye-bye.